Hey folks, today I'm going to install some Dragonfire harness inserts that I got off of Amazon. And I saw Dragonfire's installation video for them, and I thought it was, they made it look a little easy, I think. So I thought I would actually show you how I installed them on my seats from beginning to end. And with the right tools, how much faster it can go. The first thing that they supply you with, which is really important, is the pattern. Okay, they'll send it to you on a 8.5 by 11, and you'll cut it out. Now make sure when you cut the inside of that hole, you put a nice sharp X-Acto knife to it, and you cut it exactly to the line. Okay, that's important. And then just follow the instructions as far as folding the ends and all that, because that's also equally important. I'm going to go ahead and, well, first let me say, when they sent this to me, it was all kind of crumbled up and everything. I mean, they folded it too many times, and so you need to have this as flat as possible. And so there were a lot of wrinkles in it. So I put this on the ironing board, actually on the ironing board, and I ironed out the wrinkles a little bit so that I could have a flatter piece of paper. Okay, some of this installation is just common sense. I mean, you know, common sense and the right tools, it could go by fairly quick. I did my first one already, and now I'm going to do the second one. So let's go ahead and start with the installation of the template directly on the back of your S900 seat. Okay. Okay guys, so I've outlined it with the Sharpie, okay, as close to the paper as I can. Now I'm going to pull this paper off, and I'm going to use a Dremel to do the cutting. When you buy one of these Dremels, typically they come with a special cutting bit like this, and this will help tremendously in your cutting. So you don't need to use their analogy of getting a, you know, I think it's a 3/8 inch bit and then drill holes and all that. That's a pain in the butt with an X-Acto knife. It would take you a long time to do this. With this tool, you'll be able to cut through this precisely, and then also use the same tool to shave off any extra to try and fit that back insert first, okay? So let's go ahead and pull it off. Okay. Okay, so I can see my line there, all right? Okay, and actually that line is right on the star here, so that's what makes it also good to have the Dremels. It has enough power to cut right through that thick piece there. All right, and just kind of give it a double take and make sure it looks aligned. Because if this isn't perfectly centered, then everything else you do is going to look off. Okay, so I'll be right back. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start our cut. I may pause the video just so that I have more clearance to do this, but just to give you an idea. Now, it is good to have a wet vac nearby, because every so often I'm going to go ahead and clean it and then come back and cut it again, okay? Okay, I'm going to clean that up. I'm going to finish cutting it, and then I'll be back. Okay, there it is, guys. So I was able to cut that hole fairly easy with the Dremel that I had. Now I'm going to take this insert and I'm going to try and see how it fits. What you want to do is, you don't want to make this hole so big that when you put the insert in, it just falls in. Okay, it just falls in. You want some snug. I mean, you want it to be somewhat snug around this. Can't see that, around this rim here. There we go. Around this rim. So what I try to do is I'll squeeze the inside of this, and if I can't absolutely get it in by squeezing it, then I know I've got some more trimming to do. Okay? But you want to squeeze it, because when you let go of it, you want it to kind of spring back and kind of snug itself. So that's the whole reason. And then wherever you find that there's a sense of obstruction to trying and installing this insert, look and see where that obstruction is and cut a little more on that one corner or that one side. You don't want to do the whole thing. You just want to find out what's stopping you from pushing it in. Okay. You want to look underneath too. So it looks like I can trim in here a little bit, which I had to do with the last one, and it looks like I can trim a little bit on the outside here. So let's go ahead and do that. Once again with my Dremel tool. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay. We're getting there. Looks like I have it trimmed some more into here. And just to kind of balance things out, I might trim a little bit more on this side. So I'll be back. I'm going to go ahead and do all that, and then we'll get that part of it done. We'll be back. Okay. So we're still kind of working on it right now, but I'm almost there. Just take your time and trim off a little bit at a time. Okay? So okay. Looks like I need to get a little bit more on this side. See, I'm still sitting comfortably on the seat here, so I'm not killing my back trying to do this. Also, I'm going to take out a little cushion because I want to be able to know exactly how this sets in there. Okay, and right now some of that cushion's in the way. Now I know they say on the Dragonfire video to take the cushion out from the front, but I find that it's just easier for me to try and gauge things this way, especially knowing that the front of this seat does not have any stitching to measure from, believe it or not. So I'm going to show you how to cut to the front so that you get a good, accurate alignment. Okay? Let's try it again. Almost there. Okay, we don't need to cut right there. Okay, we need a little bit more on this side. See, I purposely cut it a little closer in so I could shave more out. That's just to be on the safe side, but I'm gonna cut a little bit here. All right, a little bit at a time. If you don't have a Dremel, buy one. You'll probably end up using it again if you've got one of these machines, or borrow one. But if you tackle this with a razor blade, you're just going to get frustrated, I think. So anyway. Almost there. Okay, so looks to me we need a little bit here and a little bit out here. Okay. So I took the insert out, I cleaned it up real good on the inside, all the way around. The next thing you want to do is you want to go out and buy one of these extractable blades here. This is absolutely imperative if you want to get this job done right. And you know, plus you have a new blade to work with, which is nice, or several of them. So this is what you want to use. The reason why, well, first let me say that I'm going to go ahead and clear out all of that cushion until I see the fabric. So be real careful not to hit the fabric. If you hit it and you cut it, then that's okay as long as it's within this hole, within this perimeter, okay? You will need some fabric on the other end to fold into the other insert. So that's why I say try not to cut the fabric and only cut the cushion as close as you can to the cushion and pull the rest of that out. Now the reason why I'm going to cut this from the back is because remember what I said, there's no stitching on the front. In the Dragonfire video they show you how there's some stitching in here and that you're supposed to measure 1 inch down from that. Well, there's no stitching on these on the non-EPS models. So if you have a non-EPS model, this is how you can do it. In fact, if you ask me, I still think it's it may even be better to do it this way, even if you have an EPS model, because you know you're getting a more accurate cut right from the hole, as long as you don't overcut on the material. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm just going to cut off, and I'm going to separate it with my fingers as I'm cutting, just so I know where that fabric is. A little cushion doesn't hurt to have because it'll help, you know, I think it'll help keep that plastic in a little better, a little more snug. But, you know, if you don't have it, that's okay because they already have clips on them. It takes a little doing, but once you get it all cut, like surgery in here, man. So I can see the material from here now. And the only reason why I'm doing it this way, to be honest, is, like I said, is because it doesn't come with any stitching for me to measure from. Maybe there's a way to measure it without the stitching, but I just thought it was just better this way. It worked on my other seat, so, you know, I say do what works. I mean, if you do it the way they say, it's probably safer, but I don't know. This works for me. Just don't go too fast. Take your time. Okay, I'll be back. Take this off like this. Okay, see that? Oh, there we go. There's your slit right there. Okay. Now, I'm going to cut it straight across over here. Let's see here. Yeah. So you just want to cut it straight across. You don't want to go past the stitching on the right side, okay? Okay, I'll be back. For the front. Okay. I'm going to cut a little bit more cushion off here a little bit. One of these days I'll get me some Pro Armor seats, but for now, this will work. There we go. And so you should hear it clicking once you hear that? We'll do it on a hard surface. Okay, folks. Okay, I'll come back. Here's the end result of installing those Dragonfire harness inserts. Now, I know I probably did it crazy, you know, with cutting it from the back and blah, blah, blah. But, you know, it worked for me. I got them in perfectly. I didn't have to take in my seat and get it reupholstered. And it was a cheaper alternative than buying, you know, $800 seats or something. So anyway, feel free to comment. Tell me what you think. There it is right there. And that's it. Thanks for watching.